Hello and welcome to AC Martini. My name is Sandeep, and right now I have with me the very talented, very gorgeous, and the absolutely, one of perhaps one of the best actors that Bollywood has ever had, one of the most thinking actors that Bollywood has ever had, Divya Dutta. Hello, Divya. How are you? And welcome to the podcast. I'm so excited. You can actually sense it. I'm really excited.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being a part of our podcast as well. So, Divya, let's begin. You've got to tell me that you're coming up with a new show, your new, short film, and it talks about reviews. And you've got to tell me what exactly was the most driving factor, was the biggest driving factor for you as far as the show, the short is concerned. What actually made you say yes to it?
So I guess I think this is the most prevalent thing around. It's come into the forefront, especially during the lockdowns, and a lot of people are facing this right now, and still being very saddened about it due to all the repercussions and all that stuff. And Falguni Thakur, the director of this film, just called me one fine day and said she wanted to make this short. And when she narrated me the story, it was something that most definitely needed to be told, because we always think that we are limited with domestic violence to just an A strata of society, but to know that it's everywhere. I mean, from the top to the bottom,
Yeah.
the abuse is in every strata of society. And so it said it beautifully. And a woman, even if she's strong, sometimes does not come out with it. So I really wanted to do it, and I anyways take up my parts very instinctively. So when this was offered to me, I really wanted to take it. And of course, it comes from my most favorite production house, which is Neeraj Pandey's Friday Film Works, and
Mhm.
really wanted to be a part of it. So yeah, I think it all fell in place, and the film comes tomorrow, and the world will see it. And I do hope a lot of people see it and relate to it and find the strength to come out with the problems.
Tell me, Divya, what actually is the most pertinent factor, that you perhaps look into before you say yes to a particular script? Because looking at your career trajectory and the kind of films that you've been a part of, uh, the films that you do, they're pretty heavy on the content side, number one. Number two, it actually takes a lot of your mental, capability to understand the content, to appreciate the content.
Well, as I said, itna nahi sochti the way you think. I mean, it's all serious in content, yes, and I'm fortunate that I get these kind of subjects. But for me, it's never a homework to select something. It's always the gut feeling. It's always the instinct which says, hey, go do it. Because I, as an actor, I'm like a child. I want to know that this is what I'm going to really love portraying. This is what I'm really going to enjoy doing on the set. And I think this for one, surely I knew that this needed to be told, and I knew I could do something interesting with the role I'm playing.
Okay. Okay. Besides that, when you're talking, when you look at your career and the kind of films that you've done, when you look behind, uh, who is that one director? Perhaps you think that I really wish I could have worked more with him.
Worked more ka to pata nahi, worked for sure would be Gulzar Saab. Most
Acha.
definitely. I look back, and I really wish I had the opportunity of, doing one of those beautiful films that he wrote and directed. Also Rishikesh Mukherjee. These are two directors I would have thought, um, I would have really loved to be a part. If I remember, when I had just come in and had done Train to Pakistan, I got a call from Rishikesh Mukherjee, and I thought somebody's joking with me. And he said, no, I saw your film, and I think you're fabulous, and will you come and see me? So I had gone to meet him, and he wasn't well. And all he told me was, I wish you had come a little earlier, would have done a lot of work together. So yes, those are two, and Gulzar Saab, of course. So these two people I would have really loved to have worked with.
It's surprising that you did not really take Yash Chopra's name, huh? And the
Yash
fact
Bhasker
that you
I've
have
already
perhaps
worked with. No, of course. the reason I actually got into movies was him, because I've grown up watching Yash Chopra films and become an utter romantic thanks to his movies. For me, cinema was those beautiful romantic moments, those Swiss Alps, those beautifully clad heroines,
Yeah.
and all that and more. And but I've been fortunate that I worked with him once, directed by him, and twice in his production house. So I would say, you asked me who you'd want to have worked with, and I would have said, yeah, Gulzar Saab, who haven't worked with ever before.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Divya, you've got to tell me. I'm sure this question has been asked, I don't know, umpteen times to you, but I need to know it myself. How has the lockdown been treating you? How have you been, I mean, doing this lockdown, especially with the grim atmosphere all around? The atmosphere, the ambience is like tinctured with all sorts of negativity, with people pointing fingers at each other and doing all sorts of calling out abuses and all of that on social media. How have you been holding up?
Well, I think this lockdown, not just me, everyone has seen a lot of sides of the world and your own selves, because it's not something regular that happens in your lives. Everyone, not just me, have seen people around and ourselves change, because there's been so much one introspection, so much time to just, even if you're living with your families, to just, because nobody gets so much time to be with people around. So there have been lots of revelations, there have been lots of conflicts, there have been
Yes.
lots of adjustments, compromises, tensions, and yet coming to peace, thankfully, or not. Then these kind of things happen that are shown in the film. All that has been happening. So, but of course, this is anything but normal. लेकिन बहुत कुछ सीखा, I guess. For me, I realized that ये भी चाहिए वो भी चाहिए करते हैं, but I think at the end of the day we've done very well with just 2 pairs of clothes and cooking our own meals and washing our own clothes, and it's all been good. And so I think it kind of leveled out everyone on the same level, that we all are in the same problem together, and we all have the same needs, and we can cater to them together in our own ways. So that has been, I think, a very huge leveler from the universe to everyone. And I do see at least people around me have become more sensitive to things around them, to people around them. Earlier, I used to go to the beach. Nobody used to say hi to each other. Now everyone, I think, is this newfound freedom, says hi and says, greets each other. So it feels nice and overwhelming that we are realizing the worth of living, of being alive, of being healthy, and still being there in spite of everything.
I always just keep going back to the past, and because of the body of work that you've had, what exactly is that one particular facet that you have? I mean, that is perhaps has been one of the biggest takeaways from any film or any shoot for that matter. Or has there been any such instance?
I think every film has had a takeaway for me. That's the reason I think I cherish my journey of movies, because every film has brought me a reason to smile, or something to remember, or some friends for life, something or the other for sure. And yes, I think, I mean, I can't really particularly point out one incident, because if you ask me particularly something, I would be able to tell you. But generally, I think every film, it's strange that every film I've made a friend for life. So on every set, I've had a friend, and yeah, something of the sort.
Okay, all right, okay. Just you've got to elucidate a little bit on the relationship that you shared with Yash Chopra and the way he directed you for perhaps one of your most prominent roles in Bollywood, Veer Zara.
About Yash uncle?
Yes.
I think I had the most amazing, it's so amazing that somebody you've grown up admiring, watching, being in awe of, and then you finally get to see him and he calls you for a role. And then you don't even know that this is the kind of chemistry you'll have with him. And he was an absolute delight to be with. Of course, we had the Punjabi connection and the love for desserts together. So
Yes.
I remember only for
Yes.
lunches he would ask, "वो किथे है? उसको बुलाओ," and then we would have the dessert together and discuss it and analyze it and say, "इसमें ये होना चाहिए था और ऐसा होना चाहिए था." And I do remember even after Veer Zara, the beauty was that I was still in touch with him and we used to connect. I mean, he wanted to know what's happening and he would advise me. So every month I would just go and have a cup of chai at Yashraj with him and
Hmm.
just kind of what was happening. I think when you come as an outsider, to have somebody who looks over you, who just tells you, hey, you're doing fine, and like an elder guides you, not just personal and not just professionally, but generally as well. So it feels really, really nice. And he was one person, and and of course there's Mr. Bachchan. These are two people who never missed anybody's birthday. They've always wished,
Okay.
whoever it has been. And I think as a newcomer, for me, it was very special that I get a message from Mr. Bachchan, I get a message from Yash Uncle saying happy birthday, Divya, for somebody to remember it. I think these are cherished things, and these are big, big men like them who make it sound so, what do you say? कि ये छोटी सी बात है, लेकिन they make it so big for you. And I think
Yeah.
that's the greatness of stalwarts like them.
You know what you just said actually rang a few bells in my head, especially the kind of negativity that's been spewed all over on social media about nepotism and Bollywood is not really being very welcoming to the newcomers and people who are out from the insider and outsider, the way to be precise. And when you said something of this sort, it actually came to me as a revelation. That you actually have people who message you or speak to you or talk to you and come up with birthday congratulatory messages, birthday messages, and all of that. So yeah, obviously it's not all negative. What do you have to say about
But there are every kind of people in every industry. हर जगह आपको हर तरह के लोग मिलेंगे. So you can't generalize and say इस industry में सिर्फ अच्छे लोग हैं या इस industry में
it?
सिर्फ बुरे लोग हैं. Uh, every kind of people make it the world, and we live in an ambitious place. And I wouldn't call it nepotism. I would call it more favoritism. I mean, there are lots of outsiders who have been favored too. I do think, I mean, your star kids might get an easier break, but at the end of the day, they
Hmm.
have bigger pressures to prove themselves. And we take more time to get the ideal break. But I guess we're all on the same level of being judged by the audience. And at the end of the day, you're right there for the people to decide who they like, who they want. I mean, for me per se, my journey has been good 25 years and still going strong. It is
Yes.
not easy. And I've had major rejections. I've been thrown out of projects. I have wanted to have my a foothold in the industry. But the thing is, I had the thing that I am not going to give up on something that I really, really want and get it my way. And so it took time. It didn't happen overnight for me. I had to work on it. I had to just pick the best that I got and make it so good that people noticed me and they said, hey, just look at that girl. And I had to make it happen for me because there was nobody else making it happen for me. So it was a beautiful journey, yes, but tough also. And the tougher it was, I look back with the broader smile and say, hey, I did it by myself. And it feels very gratifying to do that. But at the same time, I think I've been lucky to have some very good friends, my family, who've given me that emotional support to go past all this.
Right, absolutely. So, Divya, when you say that, yes, obviously, I mean, I completely gauge the fact that there have been some negative experiences as well in your life. Uh, I just don't want to get into all of that, but what I was, looking for, I mean, the kind of answer that I was looking for from you is, did you ever face rejections because of any particular, I mean, and a particular actor who perhaps might have been in a better position as far as the family background or some connections in the industry? Has it ever happened with you?
It's happened with all of us all the time. It's not a big deal. We feel it. The thing is how you take it. Somebody came in my place somewhere, but then after a few years, I think I did. Um, I worked with the same director. in a way far better role. It happens. It's business.
Hmm.
People have they do have favorites. They do have people to please. And when I am still beginning, they don't know who really I am. So if they have to make a choice, they will go with somebody they know. It happens. You can't. You have to take it with a pinch of salt and move on, and just
Right.
be so strong and so worth it that people say नहीं यही चाहिए, चॉइस ही नहीं है. तो उसमें मेहनत लगती है, उसमें किस्मत भी चाहिए, उसमें वक्त भी लगता है. All those things happen. But yeah, I mean, this is how it is. And so I think it's not just me. It happens. If I was a doctor, if I was in a corporate job, if I was in journalism, it would have happened anyway.
Right. Absolutely. Divya, uh, your the current film that you're coming up with opposite Swara, uh, Sheer Qorma. It talks about the LGBT. Uh, what exactly were your takeaways from that particular film, and what did you get to learn from your stint in the film, and the fact that you have been a part of the film and a very major character? Besides you and Swara, obviously for this film, I think one major film that was based on lesbian relationships was that of Shabana Azmi and Natasha's Fire. Besides that, I don't quite think there was any other film that was actually dealing with homosexual relationships in this brazen manner. Otherwise, people do stereotype. That's a different thing.
We've had some commercial films that have said it with some laughters and all that stuff. But yes, when you talk about it seriously, then yes, this is the second film. And what I would have taken away from it is that this film came to me in a phase where I was taking a short break in my career, where I thought, let me just chill and see what I really want to do next. And it was about 5 months, and this was the first one that came to me that I really liked. And Faraz, the director, said, if you don't do it, I'm not making it. And so that kind of a faith that somebody has in you and they visualize the role with you, I think is a big high. And I heard it and I was like, I'm surely doing it. It was all hard. And I think हम लोग society में बहुत ज़्यादा चीज़ों को डिवाइड कर देते हैं, एक इशू बना देते हैं. ये वुमन ओरिएंटेड फिल्म है, कैसी लगी, हाउ डू यू फील यू डिड अ वुमन ओरिएंटेड फिल्म? So that means you're discussing it as a separate thing because you're making it sound like it's not normal. You are saying it's an LGBTQ film, so you're saying it is not a normal film. So I'm saying I just took it as a film which has a different subject, which needed me to play one of the parts. And all I felt during that, I think the moment I wore the costume, I play Saira in it, who's kind of in a conflict between wanting to belong. She has her partner and the mother. So she is kind of in between both. So when the moment I wore the costume, it was like I became Saira. My walk changed, my stance changed, the way I spoke, the dialogues changed. There's some magic which I learned from Rakesh Mehra, that when you wear a costume, a lot changes. And so that happened there. And I think I became more sensitive to this whole LGBTQ thing. And what I do feel is, let's not make an issue about it. Let's normalize it as a part of our society, as a choice that people have the right to make. So I think this film, when you watch, you will take it very subtly, you will take it very effortlessly with you.
Absolutely. Divya, my final question to you is, what would your message be to all your fans and all people, all of them who actually appreciate you, who love you, who adore you for the way you are? This is not a question exactly, but
I just want to say a big thank you. When I look back, it's been a crazy, amazing journey. And it wouldn't have been complete without the love the audience has for me.
And trust me, it's got a long way to go.
Thank you. Thanks. But I really stand indebted because this kind of love is can only be earned, and it feels beautiful that people feel she's one of us. And for me, that is the biggest thing that I think I owe it to the audience. And thank you for all the love, and please watch this short film. I think this is the order of the day, and I'm sure you'll take something home to watch it.
Wow, it was a lovely conversation with you, Divya. It was really great talking to you. I've actually enjoyed every bit of the conversation. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was the very wonderful Divya Dutta. My name is Sandeep with DC Martini.